Hey, shuckalugga kapow, how's it going, old schoolers? You're kicking it old school at Russell JS, and I'm your host, Russell JS. I got another Battle Royale inspired by another vlogger who's been doing these, who inspired me to do them. This time it's going to be a triple. I'm taking three classic self-titled debut albums that are, to me, a landmark in hard rock history. Maybe one out of the three, or maybe two out of the three, you might think are classic masterpieces, but it doesn't matter. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it, and have fun with that opinion. It's all good, brothers and sisters. But you know what? Three albums I will be showcasing here that are going to go against each other. Let's just say, while we got nothing to lose as we do, as we're collecting black diamonds, we'll do the Blitzkrieg Bach during a Havana affair, and it'll be today our love and tomorrow the world, along with As We're Running with the Devil, chasing the ice cream man. What am I talking about? How about You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best, the hottest band in the world, Kiss, versus Hey Ho, Let's Go, the Ramones, versus those bad boys from Pasadena, Van Halen. Now, here's the thing. I love all three of these albums. Now, again, you may love one out of the three or maybe two out of the three, but it doesn't matter. I love all three. And you know what? I want to go ahead and put them up against each other. And, like, one album has more tracks than both of them put together, but it doesn't matter. I want to see which of these albums, maybe one or two of these albums, will be triumphant. Or maybe all three were, and it'll be a split decision. Who knows? It's going to be a stroke of fate, like I always say. And remember, if you're new to the channel, hit a like, subscribe, leave comments in the box down below, ring that bell for notifications, and tell your friends, your family, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your grandma, your grandpa, your cousins, your pets, your classmates, your co-workers, your roommates, anybody that likes to kick it old school. Now, without further ado, let's see which of these bad Oscars, let's see how these bad Oscars rank, shall we? In the case of Strutter versus Blitzkrieg Bop versus Running with the Devil. Oh man, I love the Ramones, I love Kiss, and I love Van Halen. And here's the thing, I love all three of these songs, but you know what? I'm going to give the points. I got to give some points to them. Strutter and Running with the Devil. Blitzkrieg Bop, okay, why not? Heck it. I mean, sure, that's the most played Ramones tune ever. Okay, Nothing to Lose versus Beat on the Brat in Eruption. Not a big fan of Nothing to Lose. Beat on the Brat is okay, but I'm sorry, I'm going with Eruption. That half a minute instrumental that they do with Eddie doing the tapping, and oh man. I mean, how can both these albums compete against Van Halen? They can't. Firehouse versus Judy is a Punk versus You Really Got Me. I didn't really give Van Halen a point, I don't think. I gotta go back to the videos for You Really Got Me because it's a cover and it's so overplayed. And I'm not really a big fan of Firehouse. But you know what? I'm gonna give it to You Really Got Me along with the Ramones' Judy is a Punk. All right, next. Tune written by Ace Frehley but sang by Gene Simmons, Cold Gin versus I Want to Be Your Boyfriend versus Ain't Talking About Love. You know what? Ace is my favorite member of Kiss. And, rest in peace to Ace Frehley. I've said that many times since he passed. I love that tune. I am going to give it a point. You know, I Want to Be Your Boyfriend is okay, but it can't compete against either Cold Gin or Ain't Talking About Love. And Ain't Talking About Love, that really jams. What can I say? Okay, here we go. Let Me Go Rock and Roll versus Chainsaw versus I'm the One. Oh, sorry about that. My knee just bumped the table. Hold on, I gotta take a vape because this is a hard one right here. This is gonna hurt. Let me sip some of my tea. Goody goody gumdrops. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Let Me Go Rock and Roll versus Chainsaw versus I'm the One. You know what? I love all three of those. So guess what? They all three get a point. So far, we're at Kiss with 3 points, Ramones with 3 points, and Van Halen with 4. Oh boy. And the Ramones album has the most songs than the other two put together. All right, so Kissin' Time versus I Want to Sniff Some Glue versus Jamie's Crying. You know what? Kissing Time does not even get a point. From what I understand, it wasn't originally on the first pressing of this album. They would add it later. And you know what? It doesn't get a point, but you know what? I Want to Sniff Some Glue and Jamie's Crying take the win. So now it's Kiss with 3, Ramones with 4, and Van Halen with 5. Okay. Deuce. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Deuce versus I Don't Want to Go Down to the Basement versus Atomic Punk. This is gonna hurt because I love all three of these tracks. So they've got to each get a point. All right, let's see here. Love Theme from Kiss versus Loudmouth versus Feel Your Love Tonight. You know what? Neither Kiss or Van Halen. I'm not a big fan of Feel Your Love Tonight. So neither Kiss or Van Halen are taking the win. And I love Loudmouth. Okay, here we go. I mean, right now, Ramones and Van Halen are tied. Here we go, because the Ramones song, let's see, 100,000 Years versus Havana Affair versus Little Dreamer. What do you know? The Ramones are taking the lead right now with 7 points, Van Halen with 6, and Kiss with 4. Again, I'm not a big fan of 100,000 Years. Now, this is going to be track number 10 is going to be the last track. Oh, wait, no. Van Halen still has one more, but it's going to be the last track for Kiss. But still, number 10 for the Ramones and number 10 for Van Halen. And let me tell you what, when I say this one's going to really hurt, this one's going to really hurt. Because you know why? I love all three of these songs. We got Black Diamond versus Ice Cream Man. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Listen to My Heart. So I'm going, I'm going to be going both Kiss and Van Halen on this one. All right, that's it for Kiss. So now it's the Ramones up against Van Halen. And let's see. It's 53rd and 3rd versus On Fire. Oh, man. I mean, I love both 53rd and 3rd and On Fire. This is going to be a killer. And they both get a point. And let's see. And that's it for Van Halen. And right now, looks like the Ramones are gonna be taking a lead. I wasn't a big fan of, Let's Dance, but I am a big fan of Don't Want to Walk Around with You and Today Your Love, Tomorrow the World. So that means let's go ahead and tally up the points, shall we? Kiss with 5 points. Ramones with 10 points and Van Halen with 8 points. So you know what that means? You saw it here, and I don't like one album better than the other, but there it is. The Ramones are the winners in this. And, like I said, it's a stroke of fate. In my opinion, all three of these albums are awesome. There's no denying it. I mean, this is the start of their careers. And I didn't, I don't like one better than the other, but, here you go, right here, the stroke of fate. There you have it. Maybe next time I do one of these, I do 3 albums with the same amount of songs. But these are, to me, in my opinion, these right here are the greatest 3 of the greatest self-titled debut hard rock albums ever in the history of hard rock. I mean, that's it. I mean, don't come on and just remember, be positive in the comments section. Don't be negative, okay? So don't be like, oh, the Ramones over Van Halen? What the hell you smoking, dude? You know what? If that's the kind of attitude you're going to have, I suggest that you instead of asking your mom to make your Hot Pocket and your glass of blue Kool-Aid, you do it yourself and let your mom chill out on the couch, watch her talk shows and her reality shows and soap operas, okay? I mean, this is it right here. And you know what? Don't be negative in the comments, because I will delete the comments. I will delete negative, but, it's really a stroke of fate. And get ready, because, here's what's going to be the next one. Ted Nugent, Double Live, Gonzo versus AC/DC, If You Want Blood. You got it. And you know what? I think this will be fair right here. I mean, it's going to be another stroke of fate. And I'm also getting ready. I just purchased a new, it's not new, it's used, but I just got another LCD handheld from MGA Games off of eBay. And I'm getting ready to make the next video for the summertime, which we're going to go into 2000 to 2004, what we bring on our carry-on bag. Because you know what? Nowadays, and you're going to be surprised at what I bring, that I'm not going to bring so much. I mean, you saw how I packed up the backpack to where I couldn't almost close it. But that's how it was when we were kids. And, when we're adults, I think what we do is we kind of condense everything, what we're going to need for occupants in our spare time while on vacation. But, that's all time for this video. Remember, keep it real, keep kicking it old school, keep it real, keep it fresh, keep it chill. Get you enough of love, get you enough of peace, get you enough of tranquility, get you enough of less chaos, no chaos, less drama, no drama. Listen to old school music, play some old school video games, watch old school TV shows, watch old school movies, and always remember, I want to wish you all Godspeed, and may the force be with you always, and shuckalaka kapow!